here I am with my favorite YouTube reporter, Olivia, and she's totally flattered me at the MegaCon here in Tampa Bay, coming dressed as... Who is it?
Rose Wilson.
Rose Wilson. She's my daughter.
It's time for another On the Spot. On the Spot.
So I interviewed Joe Manganiello, and he played Deathstroke. What are your thoughts about him?
When I heard that he'd got Deathstroke, I was really happy, actually. You know why? Because he's a really nice guy. He's a hard-working actor. I mean, I've seen some of his work, and he does inhabit what I would call the grey matter, which is actors who try to do more than the surface level. And with Deathstroke, it's so important to play the undercurrent of the story. You know, Deathstroke's one of these characters where, you know, sure, the mask and the sword and the outfit does its work, but as an actor, you have to work on the complexity of the character, because Deathstroke, like his mask is black and gold, which means within his character there's black and there's gold. And so in order to explore that as an actor, you know, you have to be willing to go into the black or to rise to the gold. And that's all I'm going to say, because Joe's going to take his own take when it comes to the movie. Yeah.
Who would win in a fight, Deathstroke or Deadpool?
You know what? That's always the big question. You know, that's the Marvel versus DC kind of arm wrestle, you might want to say.
Who would win in a fight, Deathstroke or Deadpool?
No video. I'm telling you no.
Deathstroke was the original.
You said Deathstroke, right?
Did I watch the Deathstroke's been around longer, so I don't know. It'd be a good fight though. We should have it.
Who's going to win a fight between Deathstroke and Deadpool? Whoever the writer decides is going to win a fight between Deathstroke and Deadpool.
Well, what do you decide?
Oh, Deadpool's going to win totally, no problem. No problem. Because, you know, you can chop Deadpool's arm off and he's still going to keep fighting. You chop Deathstroke's arm off, he's going to cry like a baby.
I think it would be, like, just so wonderful if there was a scene in Deadpool, the film, you know, which is running now with Ryan Reynolds. I wish I could get to play it.
That'd be cool.
I would love a scene where they're in a diner and, like, you know, there's Deadpool and Deathstroke out of costume sitting next to each other, and they go like, hey Wade, and he goes, hey Slade. And then the story starts, right? But just simple like that, something simple like that, I think all the fans would go like, whoa, did you see Ryan Reynolds and Joe Manganiello sitting opposite him? Oh, Manu Bennett, I'd love to do it as well. But, you know, it's always going to be the arm wrestling question of DC and Marvel, you know, Wade or Slade. But you know what the truth is? Slade came first.
Exactly. The creator of Deadpool comics, he told me that Deadpool was actually supposed to be Spider-Man. So when everyone thinks about it, they're like, oh, that's totally Deathstroke ripoff. It's like, really, it's like kind of a Spider-Man ripoff, but same thing.
He was actually influenced far more by Spider-Man than he was by Deathstroke. And I know this because the very first time that Rob Liefeld talked to me on the phone, Rob described Deadpool to me as Spider-Man meets Punisher. He didn't describe him to me as Deathstroke. So Deadpool was Spider-Man's costume, which it is, combined with all the accoutrements from these other artists who were influencing him. And that went the way of the guns, the swords, the pouch belts, all that stuff.
You know what? I've never heard that story, but that makes sense because of the mask, you know, and the black and the red. Yeah, I mean and the way that he moves, and he's got kind of like he's got a Spider-Man-ish quality. I've never heard that story. You do a lot of research. You're a good journalist, darling. You know, for your age. Retro, you're just wonderful. Well done. Good on you. Good on you.
Do you like to watch your own performance?
You know, I mean, it's always good for an actor to watch performances just to see what's working and what's not. I always had this issue when I was like an acting student. When I was talking, I'd always go, and I'd play with my mouth, and my acting coach beat it out of me. Sandra Lee Patterson, thank you for stopping me from doing what you called the tonguey. She called it the tonguey because I was always going, and she said, you can't do that on camera. When I watch performances, I'm able to see kind of like, whether I'm, effective with some of the choices that I made, and you know, at the time when I'm watching them as well on a critical way, I think to myself, like, what was the approach that I had in that scene? Did it work? Does it come across like that for the audience? You know? Yeah.
I don't like watching myself. I don't know why. It gives me the weird chills. All right. What is a TV show most people can't stand, but is your guilty pleasure to watch?
Melrose Place, which you don't know about because you're too young.
If you could go anywhere to any time, would you rather spend a week in the future or a week in the past?
Ooh, that's a tricky one. Hey, you know what? I'd flip a coin on it. But something tells me that really, if I was given that chance, really, I think I'd go back in time and I'd meet my great-great-great-grandfather, Pokiha Taranui, who was the paramount chief of the Te Arawa tribe, which is my Maori tribe. And he was known to be a very, very amazing warrior. They said that our tribe never went into battle unless Pokiha was in the lead. And, you know, he fought in a lot of amazing battles. So, you know, in this life that I'm living as a Maori, I don't really have the opportunity of that warrior experience it's probably in my blood because I've ended up playing warriors, you know. I'm sure it's in my blood. Sometimes I have to close my eyes and connect with my spiritual ancestry. We call it Wairua, or our whakapapa, which is our family history. You know, sometimes I close my eyes before I do scenes to try to evoke that spirit. Or I'll do the thing called the haka. You know what the haka is?
Nope.
It's like a Maori war dance. They go, kamate, ko. You don't know it?
I'll learn about it.
I'll teach it to you one day.
If you could have breakfast with any historical figure, who would it be and why? What would you guys eat?
Crixus. Amazing question, darling. You don't know that I played Crixus. But if I could sit across the table from the guy who was Crixus, a gladiator that died in 74 BC, trying to fight for the freedom of the slaves, maybe I could sit and watch our television show and ask him whether we did an accurate description. Because you know what? That guy actually, he made a story that enabled me to be acknowledged as an actor. So it was his spirit that gave me an opportunity. So I'd love to meet Crixus and thank him for that.
What would you guys eat?
What would we eat?
Yeah.
Probably gruel, because that's what Crixus ate. You know, maybe I don't know. Maybe I'd buy him a good dinner. I'd buy him something special. Maybe we just eat McDonald's. I don't know. What should we eat? What would be your suggestion? What do you eat for breakfast, Retro?
Pop-Tarts, cereal, and pancakes.
And pancakes?
Pop-Tarts, cereal, and pancakes. Those are my top 3 to eat. Mostly Pop-Tarts.
Yeah, my girls like pancakes. I understand. Okay, Retro, just as a thank you for having me on your show, I just want to do this. There you go. Thanks, Retro, for the interview. I'd just like to give you this signed Deathstroke pop. Thank you, darling.
Thank you.
You're gonna go so far with your career, and I wish you all the very, very best, darling.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I guess I'll see you guys all later in the next video. Make sure you smash the subscribe button and like button and share with all your friends. Whee!